So, who you voting for?
Who am I voting for? What? What? What do you mean?
It's a pretty straightforward question.
Genghis Khan.
Wow, that's that's a vote right there. You know who I'm voting for?
You're gonna vote for someone stupid like Stalin.
Bob Ross.
Okay. Bob Ross.
Bob Ross for
Okay.
president.
Bob Ross for president.
I like
Okay.
him. My grandma used to watch him on TV back in the a long time ago.
Dude, I'm watching him right now. Oh no, that's an ad.
Don't put somebody else's stream on our stream.
It's an ad for the U.S. Army.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's a place to get troops. Twitch. Yeah, all the Twitch viewers. That's a really great way to just. That's a. Woo! We're so great. I love it.
Hello, hello, and welcome to the Disabled Podcast. This is episode 6. I am your host, Alex. I'm also here with
Oh,
your
are you
other
talking to me?
hosts.
Are you talking to me?
Your other host,
Hey,
A.
I'm here too.
Alex and Alex. That's
That's
us.
that's my name. That was a test. I wanted to see if you knew it.
I've known you for how long?
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah. You know, just a little bit.
A little bit.
Um,
Oh. How you doing today?
Dude, I am doing pretty well. Last night I didn't really get much sleep, but then I had to wake up early, and so when I came back, and then I just kind of fell back asleep. I woke up 40 minutes ago
Yeah,
because I got to record the podcast. I can't miss a podcast ever again,
cannot. Can
except for
cannot.
next Friday, and also the
Or
Friday after that.
because you're gonna
I'm
be gone.
gonna I'm gonna be in Boston for that week.
You're telling me that you're not gonna do a podcast from Boston?
No, it's that I'm leaving. Like when the podcast is supposed to be happening, I'm gonna be on a plane,
Oh, so we'll just reschedule.
bro. Or hear me out, right? I pull up my phone and I just hit stream, and then I can just have a bunch of guests around me. Dude, imagine
You're
like
like,
the look on their face. I'm just like, yeah, I'm actually hosting this podcast right now.
if you start live streaming on a plane, they're gonna think you're a terrorist.
Okay.
Maybe don't do that.
I didn't think about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's very true. Um, okay.
we're not missing a podcast.
I
We
could
might miss
do.
one, but we're not missing two.
No, I mean like I could do it on like that Saturday,
Yeah, we'll do it
or that
Saturday.
Sunday. Just know I'll be
We-
very drunk. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Legally, he's not old enough to drink, so he will be drinking
No, legally I'm 21.
soda.
Soda,
Soda!
dude.
Ice
I'm gonna be
cream!
high on life.
Yeah,
Yeah, high on life.
I am high on life, always.
How have you been? How's it going? Don't look at me like that. Just answer the goddamn question.
Oh, there. Getting a little assertive, are we?
Got this thing moving along. Tell me, how are you
Uh,
doing?
okay! You know, I got the house to myself, cause Kathy's in Florida and Dad's in South Carolina,
Oh, that's cool.
so I'm holding the fort down. Uh, uh, just doing some video games. Oh, tell me to reconnect my controller.
Oh,
But I've been playing some video video
some video games.
some video games. Oh,
Are you okay? For the audio listeners, I think he's having some technical difficulties.
I'm just trying to get the camera straight, man.
Dude, this whole episode has been a technical difficulty.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. This is the most entertaining thing on the planet.
Has anything interesting happened to you over the last week?
Let me think. I don't think so. Although I did, I had some interesting experiences at work.
Oh, why would that
Yeah.
work?
So I work at undisclosed location. Um, I can't. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to lose my job.
Oh,
Um, but at my place of work, um, some of my coworkers are dumb. And one of them specifically can't figure out the difference between red and black.
okay. Coming from a person with color blindness for red and green, sometimes they do kind of look like brown, but not black.
See this? What color is that?
Like this is black.
Yeah. And what's
That
this?
that is red. For the audio
Yes.
listeners, he's pointing at red. I swear.
Yes. So
This just gaslight them into thinking it's red.
So
they can't
these
see
two
us.
colors, the red and black are different colors, but some of the products that we sell, um, one of them has red on it, and the other one has black on it. And this individual tried to. They were asked to for some of the red product, um, but they produced the black product in front of a customer. And the customer was like, "That's not black, or that's not red, or what did I just say?" They brought out one, and it was the wrong
It
one.
was supposed to be the red, and they made the black in front of the customer.
Yes, and the customer was like, "Bruv, what you doing? Oi, that's not what I ordered. What
Is
what you
this
doing?"
the one guy that I think is
No.
kind of dumb?
No, this is a new individual.
Oh, a new person.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, some of my coworkers are just no bueno. Don't like.
Okay.
Um,
While we're on that topic, I think some of my coworkers are kind of slow, we'll say. Like there's this one guy, and we have a little like work group chat. He only posts Power Rangers. Like if
mean,
if he like needs help, it'd be like a GIF of like the red Power Ranger, just be like I need help.
so he only communicates
he
in
only
Power Rangers.
he only
GIFs and
communicates in
images?
Power Ranger GIFs.
Wow. I think that's a power move. I don't think he's slow at all.
Well,
I think he's on a different
know,
level.
man. I, you know what? You could be right. Maybe I'm the slow one here. Maybe I just don't know what I'm doing.
Maybe.
I think that's probably just what it is.
You know, from one guy on the spectrum to maybe another one. That guy, he understands.
He doesn't understand. And something just came to me. Something to talk about here. Little story time. I broke my glasses like last weekend.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
Did I talk about this on the last podcast?
No, you just talked about it with me when we were
Okay.
getting wins.
Yeah, getting wins in a video game. It doesn't matter in the long run because it's a video game. Sorry about that.
This doesn't matter either.
No, it doesn't really matter, but it's still kind of funny.
Nothing matters.
There was
Give up.
there was this crackhead at Walmart. I was walking towards the entrance from the parking lot, and this guy was just laying in the middle of the road. Like he had his like arms just like in the fent zombie position, just like in the air though. Yeah, he was a zombie. He was laying in the middle of the road, where all like the cars go by, right at like the front of the store, and he was just kind of laying there.
Man's just wanted to take a nap.
He was just kind of tired.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like, did you ever wake up and you just feel like a zombie? I mean, that's what happened to him.
Sometimes, when I wake up, I kind of roll out of bed and groan. Yeah. I used to back when we were still in high school. Um, I'm not a morning person, and when I would when I would take a shower and then exit my room to get my stuff and like gather my lunch from the kitchen, and my mom and my sister would already be in the kitchen, like chatting it up, talking about homework or something, and they'd just be like, "Good morning," and I'd be like,
I was the exact
I
same way.
I would just grunt,
Ugh.
because I don't want to talk, and I just get in my car and go, and then they'd start making fun of me for it. Like there was a time when I'd come out of my room and then they wouldn't even say, they'd stop saying good morning and they'd just start grunting at me back. So it would just be like,
That's awesome. That's really funny.
yeah. And then I got a girlfriend, and I had to be more social because I had to pick her up in the mornings because her mom couldn't do that. L girlfriends for always ruining good bits.
For real.
Just let me grunt in peace. Don't make me talk to you. I'm a great boyfriend, by the way, and I'm available.
Well, that's good to know.
What were we talking about?
Or what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about.
That's a great question. That's a great question.
Yeah, I know it is. Do you want to? Wow. Very enthusiastic.
Yeah, let's go.
You know what? We're talking about space.
We're talking about space. The space episode.
The space episode.
Why are we talking about space? I'll tell you why we're talking about space.
Yeah, you tell them.
So, if you live under a rock, or in Iraq, or just generally don't keep up with the news or space news, NASA, National Aeronautical and Space Administration, government agency, cool people most of the time, announced a plan.
Okay.
To construct a lunar train, like a railway, by 2027 on the moon. And I'm kind of wilding about this.
You just informed me about this right before we went live.
I did.
How is this train going to work? Like,
okay, so here's the deal.
Okay.
They so obviously the moon has significantly less gravity than the Earth. So if you put a big old train on a train track, it's just gonna.
You think so?
Yeah. It's not gonna work very well. So what they're doing is, instead of a traditional rail track with big old metal wheels going chugga chugga choo-choo,
I would use magnets.
They're gonna have the tracks are gonna be consisting of two huge magnetic strips, and on the underside of the train cars is gonna be another set of magnetic strips, and the train cars are gonna hover over the tracks, and they're gonna stick to the tracks and not go woo.
NASA, hire me.
Yes, and me too. Please. I have really good ideas about what we could do with the moon. But they're gonna use this to help construct and just further use the lunar base that I guess we're gonna have in 2 years. Which is kind of crazy to think about. Cause
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing like how that like turns out. Like, it's gonna be in history books.
Oh yeah, like we're on the cusp of another space age.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this time we don't have John F. Kennedy.
We
because
we got we got
got
Elon Musk.
shot. We got Elon this time. And it's very interesting because the whole space race itself now, this new space race, is going to be completely privatized.
Yeah.
Last time it was all government work,
Yeah, it was all
and
just
now
from
it's
the
a
government.
private companies coming together uh, to to use the government facilities in order to get the materials and the stuff up to to the moon. Like it's SpaceX's rocket, but
Yeah.
it's NASA astronauts on it. Um, so this whole situation is crazy to me. Um, and it's this whole thing kind of came out of nowhere because like I feel like I just watched a sci-fi movie in the last 5 years with like a hover train or something. You know what? Solo. Solo, a Star Wars story, the most
Oh, yeah.
mid of all mid. There's the train heist part of it in the beginning of the movie, and guess what? That train is floating on the train track. So we got freaking Star Wars trains, I guess. Um,
You could call it
so
that, yeah.
I'm just very curious to know what else the government knows and what other plans they have that they haven't told us about. Um, I'm very curious to see where all this goes, but it's just um, it's very sudden news that I didn't expect. I figured we'd be on the moon again by 2027, but I did not think we'd be constructing stuff, large scale stuff that's this futuristic
4 years ago,
on the moon.
and like the very beginning of the year, like not like in the pandemic area, um, they were saying like NASA like made like a Instagram post or something. It was like we're back on the moon by 2024.
Uh, well,
But
then the
but
thing
then
happened.
but then the thing happened, and it was like
Yeah,
no you're not. No you're not.
yeah. And then the leadership of this country changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But um, but yeah. So I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on this.
So a railway on the moon, I think. Well, no, just like having a base on the moon in general. Like, there's so much to talk about. Like, how does that work? Is it going to be like the Martian?
We're just gonna send Matt Damon up to the moon.
Dude, that'd be
I'm
so
just by
cool.
himself.
That'd be so freaking
It's
cool.
just him.
I mean, like, I'm
I
sure.
mean, you talk about that, but like, if we can get actors to learn how to go in a rocket and be accompanied by astronauts, technically we could film movies on the moon.
That's what I was kind of thinking when you're talking about Solo. Like, we could film like movie scenes on the moon.
Yeah.
Imagine the movie budget on that.
You don't need CGI anymore when you could just go.
Nope, no more CGI.
That'll be like 10 years from now, though. 'Cause
Yeah.
we'll have to greatly reduce the cost of travel.
Yeah.
It's just an idea.
Yeah.
But like, what do you think? What do you think
Um,
about us using those resources to do that?
it's definitely a good business move if you think about it, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of like hydrogen on the moon, not
Mhm.
like H2O, just like hydrogen, just like
Yeah.
straight up, and that's pretty valuable.
Hmm.
So like if you go there, get like $1 trillion worth of hydrogen, come back, and you can sell it, boom, made like
Yeah.
$500 billion.
I had a conversation with my dad the other day when I told him about this, and he basically spent 10 minutes. Hi, Dad. He spent about 10 minutes shitting on the whole idea. Um,
Wow.
my dad's not a big NASA fan. He just doesn't really see the point. He's a more
Down to
He's more
earth.
down to earth kind of.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna say it.
He's a more down to earth guy, and he only really he cares more about issues down here than issues up there.
I respect that opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was just like, why do I have to spend my tax dollars, like funding that, when there's so many other problems that we have? And I understand that. We had a very long discussion about this. It was like 30 minutes. But like you said, there's not just hydrogen up there. I mean, the moon is made out of rock, and the moon, the 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 moon itself, theoretically, I guess, came from the Earth when we were hit by another planet way back when, and it just sheared off a whole chunk of Earth, and boom, moon. Um, so there's got to be resources
Yeah, so do you
in the
think that
moon
we
that
can
we could
just
mine.
turn the moon into a giant mine for resources?
Yeah, I mean, and my dad raised the point of like, what if you destabilize the moon by taking all of it? And I'm like, I understand that too.
It's a giant rock, dude.
Yeah, like obviously you'd have to control it because if you break the moon, we all die.
Yeah, that is
But
true.
but the amount of resources on the moon that we could totally have access to, I feel like could definitely pay for itself. The project
Yeah.
could be fully funded by that, and then it could also just rejuvenate the entire global economy. And then we use those resources to go to Mars. And what do we do on Mars? The same damn thing.
We
Um,
can launch. Oh my god, dude, I just kind of thought about this. We can launch like more rockets from the moon.
yeah,
Like that's kind of nuts.
because I mean they gotta have a way to get back. So if we
We
incorporate like
yeah.
the reusable rocket design, um, to like be able to land and then take back off from the moon, we could then use that um, to as like a fueling station and like base to then launch to Mars and
Yeah.
cut that travel time by just a tad.
Also,
Um,
like the moon, I feel like they would have. No, wait, can they? Can
hmm,
they? Because hmm, I'm thinking like
what?
there's no oxygen on the moon.
No.
So could you be able to burn like fuel?
I mean, they could probably build some kind of silo where like they pump a bunch of oxygen in
Yeah, I think that's what they would
and
have to
then use
do.
that to light it. Because I remember when we well I wasn't there, but like I know of how we got off, how Armstrong and Aldrin got off the moon. There was a little explosive
Yeah, that's
in
right.
the lunar module that blew up and accelerated them off the surface of the moon. Um, so you'd have something like that, I guess, or you just have like some kind of missile silo down in there with some kind of oxygen supply. I mean, I don't. We're talking about this, but there's a whole governmental division that
That are trying to solve
has
that
already
same
has
issue.
already figured this
Yeah.
out. So I'm sure that we're not the first. Well, I know we're not the first. But speaking of that, though, another thing that could be brought up from this is the newishly formed the Space Force.
Mhm.
What happens when we put a military base on the moon? And
Other
how
governments will do the same thing.
I know. So this is very interesting
Oh my god, wait a second. Hold on.
because
Hang
the
on.
moon is
Idea coming
international
in.
property. What?
Do you think in like 40 to 50 years from now, like we have bases on the moon, bases on like Mars, maybe like
Mhm.
a base on like a moon of Jupiter or something?
Moon of Saturn. It'd be on Titan.
Saturn. Well, I mean,
That we'll get there.
they're just like Io and stuff like that, but the first quote unquote Star Wars, like
Armed conflicts on one of these bases.
yeah,
If we okay, I could kind of see that something like that happening on the moon because it's small. But if we go to Mars and other countries go too, first of all, they're gonna have to use our transportation. Second of all, it's a whole planet where anyone can go anywhere.
Yeah.
If they still end up fighting on Mars, humanity's doomed. We're done. But I could definitely see, like, if there's like a property dispute on the moon
Yeah.
between two governments. I don't think it would involve the United States, but like two smaller governments, one astronaut. Then you have to arm, because you got to have weapons up there. So are we gonna arm our astronauts? This is a whole like can of worms.
How far can you shoot a bullet on Mars?
Well, as long as the combustion of as long as the firing pin can strike
Yeah.
can strike the igniter in the bullet, and it gets out of the gun, out of the firearm, you're good. And the bullets, since the low gravity, they'll just keep going. Well, not on Mars. On Mars, they just have like,
On Mars, like,
significantly more range.
what's the gravity ratio on Mars?
I think it's like 60% of Earth.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
I know that that the moon is 1/6 of Earth.
Yeah. If you fire a gun on the moon, that bullet's gonna keep going until it hits something.
Dude, that's gonna be insane.
Somebody's day is gonna be made worse.
It would just like rip a hole through them,
Yeah.
or a thing like a rock, like it'll just.
Well, I don't remember what. I think it was. You remember the movie Gravity with Sandra Bullock?
Gravity?
You ever see that?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, this movie called Gravity with Sandra Bullock, where she's on like the International Space Station, or like International Space Station-esque
Yeah.
thing, and something happens and like the station like falls apart, or like no, it's like there's space junk that hits the International Space Station, I think, and like tears it up, and there's a scene where like she's floating in space in her astronaut suit, and she sees another astronaut, so she like goes over there and turns him around, and there's just a giant hole
Oh.
where something like went through his head.
Well, like, do you know how fast like that space junk is going? Like those
Oh,
satellites
yeah.
and like the International Space Station, it's
Oh,
going
yeah.
like thousands of miles per hour.
Yeah. Tens of thousands of miles per
Yeah.
hour. So yeah. But this whole moon situation is very, very interesting. All the boomers are gonna be like, bruh, what's going on here?
Don't care.
But I'm fascinated. If we don't blow each other up in the next 10 years, I think we're gonna have a new golden age of space.
Yeah.
And it's
That'd
gonna
be
be so
really
cool.
cool.
So cool to watch.
How do you think it could be as a normal person to take a private company to go to space? Like, how cheap do you think it can be? Like in like 10 years?
I mean,
Well, not
right
10.
now,
How about like 15?
right now it's millions, obviously, but that's just because we don't have easy access to space travel. Once we get to the point where we can refine the process and make it more accessible, I feel like in 15 years, I feel like it'll be maybe 20K.
That's kind of crazy.
I feel like it'll be one trip to space will probably be about the price of an average car.
Wow.
I mean, I don't have anything to back that up. That's
no.
just how I feel. Like my gut reaction.
I
is,
wasn't asking for like a detailed explanation. I was just
yeah,
looking for
I
a
just
guess.
feel like it would be somewhere around there. Because I mean, once we get those resources, that number's just gonna keep going down and down
Yeah.
and down. And then it'll eventually get to the point where it's just an expensive plane ticket. But that's like 30 years from now. So.
I'm sure you know about this, but have you heard of like the plan to like nuke the poles of Mars
Yeah, that's been a thing for
for a while? Do you think that
Good
that
old
would work?
Elon has brought that up before.
Yeah,
I don't know.
we've never been to any of the poles of Mars.
Yeah, I mean theoretically, if you heat up the planet significantly, using a bunch of nukes at the
A
poles,
bunch of
it'll melt.
thermonuclear bombs.
It'll melt the ice, and it'll literally create like a effect. Theoretically, it'll create an effect of like global warming, um, like what we were taught was happening on Earth 10 years ago, um, where the greenhouse gases would start to get trapped because the rapid heating of the planet's surface, and that ice would melt, and theoretically you could have a um, somewhat livable atmosphere and environment on Mars. You still have the problem of Mars's atmosphere is not breathable whatsoever. So you'd have to fix that. I don't think the nukes would just fix that, but it would at least make it more pleasant, I guess.
Well, I feel like to make Mars habitable, like physically habitable, like no addition of anything. Like you can go
Yeah.
outside and breathe the air. That'd be like 200 plus years from now.
Oh, that's yeah.
Thousands probably.
That's playing God
Yeah. Like I feel like
because
you'd have to literally start from scratch. Like
oh yeah,
add in like plankton and stuff like that to produce the oxygen.
you'd have to get to a point where you could put plant life just out in the environment on Mars,
Yes,
and
and
then the
have
plant life would
that
produce.
produce oxygen
Yep.
and reduce all the other things in the air.
You'd have to genetically modify plants to not use as much of the Earth style air. I mean, it's a whole that'd be a whole process. Because Mars used to be like Earth, at least we think.
Supposedly, yeah.
And just years and years of solar storms and stuff destroyed its atmosphere, and then everything on it died. Um, so for us to reverse that in any capacity is definitely playing God, and that's interesting territory. I'm the guy that says go for it. But I'm sure that a significant chunk of humanity would be
People
very
probably
apprehensive.
think that like yeah, that it's not a very good thing to do.
Yeah, but it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. I don't think we'll ever do it.
Make Mars habitable?
No,
Not
I
in
don't
our
think
not
so.
in our lifetime, that's for damn sure.
Speaking of habitable planets, though, I did mention this earlier, but Saturn's moon, Titan,
Yeah.
is thought to be very similar to Earth. We'd probably still need some sort of breather or suit on it on the surface, but it's much different to Mars, um, and it's it's a very interesting um, planet as well, or moon, celestial body, because we sent a probe there, and apparently the probe picked up a possibility of life.
We probed a moon.
Yeah, well, we probe a lot of things.
Okay. Sorry about that. Go
But
ahead.
but that's another like there's been conversation um, of some in somewhere in the future trying to get an expedition all the way out there, but that would be a very long trip.
Yeah.
Um,
Probably like
that would
6
be
months.
that. I mean, Mars is 3 months, I think.
Is it really?
Yeah,
3
Mars
months.
is. So I
No
think it
way.
would be a year to get all the way out to
I thought to
Saturn.
like get like a rover to Mars, it was like 3 weeks.
Now, see, the moon, the moon is 3 days.
Okay.
Um, and see, this is what I think a lot of people just don't realize is how freaking big
Dude,
space
yeah,
is.
I it's really hard to imagine it because you just don't know
Like,
that that distance is so incomprehensible to just like putting it on like Earth terms.
yeah.
It's insane. It's millions of miles.
And another thing people don't really realize, like in you know how like in sci-fi, like when you see a ship like the Millennium Falcon or like the Starship Enterprise and it moves, the engines are always burning. Like you could always see that.
Yeah.
That's not reality because we don't have unlimited fuel.
No.
So once you burn all the fuel and you get to the certain velocity that you want to be at, the speed, the engines are off,
Yes.
and you're just gliding at
You're
that insane
gliding
speed.
across space.
So it's not like you're always accelerating.
Yeah.
You just get to the point where you want to be at this certain optimal speed and you just stay there. And that's
Yeah.
another reason why like space travel is so slow for us because we don't have unlimited fuel. We need this giant fuel tank
Yeah.
like we had on the space shuttle.
And then the problem with that is that like if it's too heavy, we can't launch. We can't launch it
Exactly.
off the face of the earth.
Exactly. And you have a bunch of liquid fuel. Well, if something goes wrong,
Yeah.
that much fuel, you can't. If it blows up, you ain't getting that back.
Nope. Not happening.
So, it's a very interesting situation with all of that. So yeah, that's kind of the situation right now when it comes to space news.
Do you want to go to space?
You know, I've thought about this, and my short answer is no. Personally, that's obviously a dream, you know, in this some conjured reality. I'd love to go to space someday. But if I have a family and people I care about who also care about me, I'm never going to space. It's just not, like, obviously it's not safe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
A-
safe,
a
but it's
big
not
thing is
safe.
definitely safety.
Yeah.
Like that's probably the reason why I wouldn't want to go. But at the same time, like you could tell people that like, hey man, I've been to space. Look at me.
But like, also the amount of training is insane.
Then it
What you have to put your body through,
well,
so it just takes a
what
lot
if
of
it's just
discipline.
like Blue Origin where it's like the edge of space?
Oh, that's okay. I mean, I'd be apprehensive. I'd be like, is this thing gonna hold? Like, like, am I good here? What, like, am I safe? But like, if that, like that, I could see. But I've also thought about like when I'm like, if I ever get like terminally ill,
yeah.
put me on a spaceship, launch me up there. I'll spend the rest of my last few days, the last year of my life, just chilling, looking out the window at the beautiful abyss, and that's how I'll close out my life. I've also thought about after I die, like launching my body into space, and then just letting it float. Because in space, bodies don't decay.
Yeah, they
It's just
well.
it's just chilling.
Hang on. What about like the sun?
I mean, yeah, I'd be in something
Okay.
like in like some kind of space coffin.
Okay. Well, okay. It would be a space coffin, but then you need to be in like a vacuum chamber with nothing in it, and then
Yes.
boom, and then you won't decay.
And then I could just float forever, and I'd either hit something
You should have
or
launched
I'd
your
reach
body into the
I'd
sun.
reach the edge of the universe. No, that's guaranteed. My body will be just destroyed. I don't want that.
You should be cremated in like the
I don't
most
wanna be
epic way
cremated.
ever.
I don't want to be cremated.
So
I hate that idea.
You want to get launched to the edge of space.
Yeah, just throw me out there.
That'd be kind of cool.
I know. And then, like, if some alien ship picked me up, they'd be like, "What is this, dude?"
What is this guy doing?
And they study me.
What if they bring you back? Because technically,
Me?
you won't be decayed. Well,
Yeah.
no. Hang on
I
a
mean,
second.
the cells.
Doesn't your
The
body
cells.
decay? Like
Like-
just like over time? Like
If you're in a vacuum chamber, it's like the whole thing behind decay is
don't the cells just break down and
it's
die?
being broken down by oxygen. It's
Is
like
it?
the air, the atmosphere itself is breaking your cells down. The
Okay.
moisture and everything,
Okay. No,
and
no, no. Yeah,
the
you're right. You're right.
microscopic
Yeah.
life forms, the bacteria and the germs who get on you and eat that tissue at the microscopic level. If you're in a vacuum chamber in space, you don't have that, or at the very least, you have very little of that. So if
You could
somebody
also
found the
probably be like
corpse,
frozen.
if
Yeah.
somebody found the corpse a couple thousand years later, it'd be like a mummy almost. Like all the skin would be blue or like dark gray. That you have no color. Your tissue would just be probably really solid. Um, and you'd just be a husk, I guess,
Yeah.
of what you were before. And that's morbid, but it's also really cool. Um, so if these aliens have like a miracle drug that they could just inject me with and bring me back to life, and hopefully don't kill me, let me let me chill, bring me back to your world,
That'd be kind of cool.
let me meet a nice lady.
This is when you're old.
Oh,
Do
make me young again.
Yeah.
Make me. I want to be like Omni Man,
Okay.
but not like the bad parts.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? No, you want
You
to
get
be
what I'm saying?
exactly like Omni Man, don't you?
You get what I'm saying?
You know
Like,
what?
like
What I've
Omni
seen
Man and the
recently?
Thraxons.
I've seen a lot
What?
of memes about the manhole that was launched into space by like a nuke test.
Oh, yeah, there was a nuke and it was
They actually did
launched
it
into the
twice. Did you
atmosphere.
know that they actually did it twice?
Really?
Yes. To
That's
So there's actually two manholes going in space, just going Mach
that's awesome.
like 25 in space.
That's awesome.
But like
I love that.
I've seen a lot of memes that's just like some like alien civilization just getting blown to bits by a manhole.
Go humanity, man. I
Yeah.
love that.
Like what if there is alien life out there? We wouldn't know because it'd be destroyed from our manhole.
Yeah, our manhole will just obliterate their planet completely. Uh, that's very comical. I like that a lot.
What are you doing?
What do you mean? What am I doing?
It looks like you're surfing the web.
Are you spying on me?
No, I'm looking at the light on your face.
Oh, I thought you were looking at my
Why
Discord
is it
status.
red?
I'm playing Opera, but that's my
Oh,
wallpaper is red. You got a problem with red?
no. My thing on Xbox is red.
Mm, that is true. I have it on here.
Do you think that we can develop near light speed travel?
Maybe.
Maybe.
See, that's a question that can't be answered because we're just not there.
Yeah.
We don't have an energy source that can do that, or at the very least, we haven't discovered a way to do that with one of our current energy sources. Like the only thing viable one I can think of is some kind of nuclear reactor. But even that's sketchy and dicey at best. We just don't have the technology for that. We don't have the fuel for that. We don't know. We haven't unlocked that skill tree.
Okay. Yeah,
And
that's actually a really, really good way to put it. Okay.
I don't know if we ever will. At least not anytime soon.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
true.
think we will in our lifetime. I don't think our kids will in their lifetime. Like in the
I,
movies, we make it
yeah.
seem so simple,
Oh, it's
but
so simple. Just freaking do
but
this,
it's
and
just
then
you
boom, you're
just
done.
push the lever and go to hyperspace. Like no, that's such an insane concept to move anything at the speed of light
That's why
or
I
even
said
faster.
near that. That's why I said near the speed of light. Because like going the speed of light is like hard. It's really
And
hard,
the
man.
effects
It's
that
just
would
it's so
have,
fast.
the effects that would have on the body,
Yeah.
like we don't know. And then you get into the matter of time And what happens with time when you're going that fast? Because, like,
Yeah.
and this is going to seem out of left field, but staying with the Star Wars reference. In Star Wars, hyperspace and going to hyperspace, going to light speed, is considered dimension hopping. This was explained by George Lucas at one point. He said that with your hyperdrive in your ship, that opens like when the stars stretch
Mhm.
and then they like go in like the blue tunnel thing. That's you going into a different dimension to jump from one point in the galaxy to another.
Wow.
So like that's why everybody's age remains the same and remains constant. That it's not like an interstellar situation where Matthew McConaughey is 112 years old and his daughter's like 90. Like it's not like that doesn't happen in Star Wars because they're dimension hopping and they just skip right to the other side. Um like maybe not skip in an instant, but it's not that much time. That's not feasible because we don't know how to freaking dimension hop. We don't even know if there are other dimensions. So I I don't know. The idea of going that fast breaks my brain. Maybe. It's like asking me if we'll ever be able to time travel. I don't know.
I don't really care about time travel. I think we shouldn't really mess with that.
I feel like that has horrible consequences.
Oh, horrible. Like, horrible, horrible. Like, really, really, really bad.
Yeah.
Like, the butterfly effect is a motherfucker.
The day that anyone time travels, humanity's over. It's so over. We're
Dude,
done.
as soon, no, like, think about this. As soon as we invent time travel, do you think that someone will just, like, kind of, like, spawn in and just be like, hey, stop that, and then they break it?
I think some kind of divine intervention would occur. I think that if we ever get to that point, God Himself is going to be like, "No,
how,
stop!
how the fuck
You've
did you do
got
this?
you've gone too far."
uh, go back to like Adam and Eve and just see like, hey man, what's happening?
Hey, bro,
Hey, what up,
what's
G?
up? Nice, nice leaves, bruh.
Yo, that apple looks mighty fine.
Oh, and I don't even know if we should be trusted with fast, like near light speed travel. I don't know if we can handle that responsibility. It's just
You
the whole
could
thing.
go across the universe, man.
Yeah, you can go wherever you want, wherever the hell
Wherever you
you want.
want. I feel like
I mean,
once we develop that technology, we would have encountered like aliens.
oh yeah. I mean, there's a theory that the reason we haven't encountered any aliens, like,
Is because we're just like too primitive.
we're primitive. And,
Yeah.
like, tying this back into one of our past episodes, there's a whole plot line in Mass Effect about how the more advanced species don't mess with the primitive species because they're going to mess up their development.
Yeah.
And that's a plot line that is very much so explored, messing with other species evolution and stuff, because a more advanced species visits a less advanced species, and yada yada yada. Um, you'll dive into that when you start playing the game. Speaking of which,
yeah.
you are. This is some news. Alex is
I have not
breaking news, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, yeah, breaking news.
He downloaded the game.
I downloaded all 3 games. I have not started playing though because I've been preoccupied.
Yeah. But it's on the table.
It is. It's gonna happen
I'm
sometime.
very
As
excited.
soon as I get some time where I'm just kind of bored of all my other stuff.
Very exciting.
I also gotta download all the mods.
Yeah. That's just a couple hours.
Is
though.
there a mod that gives me all the achievements?
No.
Oh, that kind of sucks.
Why do you care about achievements?
I just think it'd be kind of funny. Just like having 2 hours, but having all the achievements.
Cringe. Cheater.
Okay, fine. I won't cheat. I'm sorry. I've talked about this before on another episode. Um, do you think aliens have visited us?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you think so?
yeah.
When?
Throughout our history,
Multiple
I think.
times?
Oh yeah, I think it's probably the same species too. They're probably just messing with us. Um,
Yeah.
I think that one of the I think the whole like we've never encountered another planet that has any sign of life on it. I think that's crap.
You think that we found other planets using like the
Somebody's
Hubble or like
somebody's
the
hiding shit from us.
yeah? You think that's
I saw
possible?
a story. I saw a story that one of the telescopes saw a planet with like lights on it.
I saw that. Yeah.
Like, what the hell's going on there? And why haven't I
What
heard
happened?
anything out of that
What happened to
story?
that story? Yeah. Where did that thing
Yeah.
go?
Like, where did they go with that?
I did see that on like Instagram. It was like planet discovered with lights with like city lights. And
I saw a
and
post and then I never heard about it again. So what do you know? Somebody's controlling the narrative.
I think that's definitely happening. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like we've definitely spotted worlds with like
Yeah.
lights or signs of like advanced technology.
Or that are like in like the sweet spot of their solar system. In the habitable zone.
I mean, if you think about
Like
it,
Earth
like,
is.
do you know how big the freaking universe is? Like,
I mean-
there's gonna be millions and millions of planets that are within like the habitable zone.
Oh yeah. I mean, just in the Milky Way alone, there's over 1 trillion stars.
Yeah,
If all those stars even just had one little planet on them, and out of all those planets, 1 in 1 billion of those planets was habitable, you still have 100 habitable planets with some possible form of life on it.
Mhm.
So I think we're just getting made fun of in the galactic community. I think they're
Yeah.
just laughing at us.
So-
Or
yeah.
they're studying us and they think we're cute and fascinating because we're a primitive species that's at the cusp of not being primitive anymore. And I think the government knows a hell of a lot more than they say they do.
Over at
Which-
Area
which is-
52.
Area 51 and all that crap is bullshit. I think that's all cover up. That's pop culture. That's an Air Force base. They've got some. At most, they've got some secret planes there.
Mhm.
They're definitely hiding the real shit somewhere else.
Area
Um,
52, man. We talked about this before on
Area
the
69.
the second or what was it? Was it that first episode? It was the very first
Conspiracy
episode.
theories episode.
Yes,
Yeah. All that time ago.
that was 6 weeks ago. Well, no, actually, it was more than that.
It's like 7 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was like 7 weeks ago.
Well, what are we at?
We're at
How much time do we have left?
We got like 7 minutes.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
I've
so
kinda
something
yapped
something
on-
I do want to talk about.
Okay.
Do you know how rare it is for an alien species to have like 2 arms and 2 legs? Like the
Well-
genetic makeup has to be perfect.
Of all of the species on this planet,
Yeah.
there's only the the humans and all the different apes.
Mm.
Put us all together. You got everybody with 2 arms, 2 legs that stand upright.
Yes.
And then you have like kangaroos.
kangaroos. Well, I mean, a lot of them
some
have
other-
like paws. Like, they don't really have like hands.
They don't have they don't have hands.
or like
opposable
fingers.
thumbs. Like what is this?
Yeah.
That's what grinds my gears about like when
Like aliens like sightings, and it's just like an alien with 2 arms, 2 legs. They have
Yeah.
fingers and stuff. Like,
and it's not just that.
that's impossible. Well, it's
it grinds
almost
my
impossible.
gears. It grinds my gears about like, and this is a different topic for a different day, but like just touching on it briefly, evolution. What the hell is this? Why does nobody else have this except for the monkeys?
For the audio listeners, this is referring to just like joints in the fingers and like being able to like wiggle them around. Hands.
Why can I pick up my phone? Why am I able to do this? And all the other animals except for monkeys don't have that? What's going on?
It's just evolution, man. Why is there?
This is the end.
Why is there so many crabs? Why is there so many damn crabs?
If this is the end game of evolution, why is there not more species with this? Why do we have the opposable thumbs and monkeys?
This is for joystick on controller.
Yes, that's what God made it for.
Yes.
Like that's what grinds my gears when I have conversations with like avid atheists.
Yeah.
And this isn't me touting Christianity. I'm saying any form of religion, being like believing in creationism itself. It's all about the thumbs, baby. Who else has this? Who else got this?
The apes.
The monkeys. The monkeys. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. What are they doing?
I think some cats have opposable thumbs on their paws.
Cats?
I think some do.
I'm gonna look this up. Species with opposable thumbs. Gorillas, chimpanzees, orangutans, bonobos, grivets, opossums, pandas, koalas. I don't see any cats here. I do see, though, raccoons. But raccoons don't have opposable thumbs. They just have 5 toes.
Really?
That's why they're always That's why whenever you see them holding something, they're holding it with both hands. Because they take their hands and put them together to hold it between.
Oh. Oh, I see.
They don't have thumbs. They can't do this.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture right now of their feet.
Yeah. You're looking at raccoon feet?
It's not what it looks like.
I don't know, man.
It's not what it looks like, man.
We're talking about hands, and you just said, I'm looking at raccoon feet.
Well, because you were just talking about raccoon feet.
I was talking about raccoon hands.
But they don't have hands. They got toes. They got toe hands.
Hand toes.
Toe hands, hand toes, same thing. So so us and apes are the majority of like the population on the planet that have opposable thumbs.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But like pandas and koalas and stuff like that.
That's crazy that pandas have hands.
Yeah. Okay, I think that about wraps up this episode of the Disabled Podcast.
Thanks for listening
In
to
space.
us yap about space. Disabled space.
Welcome to the Disabled Space.
Could you survive in space with your disability?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I couldn't.
You couldn't?
No.
No.
I need a nice toilet.
I mean, they have toilets in space. We're just kind of really loud and it like sucks. It's a big old vacuum.
They don't have toilets. They got big sucks. And that's what we're leaving you with. Big sucks.
All right. Signing off. I'll see you all next week.
See you guys.